Chiefs fans, get ready. Wait, because things are getting crazy in Kansas City, and the updates that just came out have surprised fans. Veach just released an update on Trent McDuffie's future, and let's just say this could shake up the defense in a way no one anticipated. At the same time, Tyreek Hill's name is being mentioned again, but to a degree that no one is paying attention to. And then there's Travis Kelce, with his imminent decision that could change everything before the draft. Yes, this offseason has gotten serious. Let's start with the first news item about cornerback Trent McDuffie's contract extension. Alright, let's start with the big one. Trent McDuffie. Veach was at the NFL Combine and made it pretty clear the Chiefs want this guy in Kansas City for the long haul. And honestly, not a surprise. McDuffie isn't just another corner, he's been the tone setter in that secondary. Remember, Kansas City already picked up his 5th-year option. That locks him in for 2026 at a fully guaranteed $13.6 million solid number. But here's the thing, that price tag also makes him extension eligible right now. And when you look at the cornerback market, Sauce Gardner reset it at over $30 million per year. That's the new world. So the Chiefs have a decision to make. Pay their number one corner now before the market climbs even higher, or risk this getting complicated. Veach said they've been talking to McDuffie's camp since last spring and summer. In fact, he mentioned McDuffie was first out of the gate for meetings at the Combine. Translation: this isn't casual, this is priority level business. Now, let's talk context. McDuffie is 25. Former first-round pick, all-pro talent, he started basically every game possible in back-to-back seasons before 2025. Last season got cut short after a knee injury in Week 14 against Houston, and he landed on IR. Still finished with 63 tackles, 7 passes defended, a sack, a pick, and a forced fumble. That's production. That's impact. But here's where it gets interesting. If Kansas City can't agree on a long-term deal, things can get messy fast. Holdout territory, cap gymnastics, even, and nobody wants to say it out loud, trade discussions. And let's be honest, a 25-year-old all-pro level corner would have serious value on the market if the Chiefs ever decided to retool. The smart play: lock him up early, structure the deal to lower the year one cap hit, and keep your defense stable while the offense continues evolving. Because losing McDuffie, that's not just losing a corner, that's losing your defensive identity on the outside. And based on what Veach said, Kansas City knows it. Now the question isn't if they want him, it's whether they can close the deal before this becomes uncomfortable. But if you thought the McDuffie situation was the only thing bubbling in KC, think again. Because the next topic involves a name that still hits Chiefs fans right in the chest. Yes, we're talking about Tyreek Hill. And somehow, some way, this conversation just refuses to die. Now here's what sparked it. ESPN's Nate Taylor reported that the Chiefs are expected to monitor Hill's recovery this offseason. That's it, just monitor. Not negotiate, not pursue, just keep tabs. But you already know what happens when that name pops up. Immediately, fans start imagining Mahomes launching bombs to number 10 again. Here's the reality check. Hill is 31 years old. He suffered a brutal knee injury last season. We're not talking about a minor tweak. We're talking dislocated knee, multiple torn ligaments, ACL included, surgery already happened, and he's scheduled for a second procedure this offseason. There's no real timetable. Some reports suggest he might not even be ready until 2027. That's serious. Now, Andy Reid addressed the situation last week and basically downplayed everything, said there haven't been discussions inside the building, then followed it up with the classic Reid line, "We talk about everything," which means nothing's happening, but also nothing is completely off the table. That's coach speak. Meanwhile, the Dolphins released Hill, freeing up $22 million in cap space. For the first time in his career, he's an unrestricted free agent, and because of the timing, he can sign immediately. No waiting for the new league year, so technically, the door isn't locked. But let's slow this down. The Chiefs' bigger priority right now is building a younger, more sustainable supporting cast around Patrick Mahomes. They've been clear about that direction. The 2026 draft is happening, the combine is underway, roster spots matter, cap space matters, and signing a 31-year-old receiver coming off a catastrophic knee injury, not even if that receiver is Tyreek Hill, doesn't exactly scream long-term vision. Emotionally, sure, the reunion would break the internet. Logically, it's complicated. Kansas City already reshaped its offense after trading Hill years ago. They won. They adjusted. They built differently. Bringing him back now would be nostalgic, but risky, and based on the reporting, this isn't a front burner move for Brett Veach. It's a keep an eye on it situation, so unless something dramatic changes with his recovery timeline, this feels more like off-season noise than actual momentum. But the fact that it's even being mentioned, that tells you how electric that name still is in this city. And speaking of electric, we still haven't talked about the biggest emotional decision hanging over this team. And just when you think the defense and wide receiver room are the big stories, there's one decision that could hit this team right in the heart, and it all comes down to one legend. Now we get to Travis Kelce, and this one feels different. 2 months before the NFL draft, the Chiefs still don't know if their future Hall of Fame tight end will be on the roster when training camp starts. That's not drama, that's reality. Kelce is weighing retirement again. This would be year 14. He's 37, he's done everything. Super Bowls, records, icon status. There's nothing left for him to prove. Brett Veach spoke at the Combine and said the team has prepared for both scenarios, Kelce back or Kelce walking away. That tells you this isn't just casual talk. They're building contingency plans. And financially, there's pressure there too. Kelce is due a $12.5 million roster bonus next month. His cap hit is close to $20 million. If he commits to playing in 2026, expect that number to be adjusted, but that clock is ticking. At some point, they need clarity. Statistically, last season wasn't peak Kelce. He finished with 851 yards and 5 touchdowns. Still productive, still dangerous, but 76 receptions was his lowest total since 2015. And you could feel it. The offense wasn't as automatic over the middle. Meanwhile, Noah Gray, the number 2 tight end, is also an unrestricted free agent. So if Kelce retires and Gray leaves, suddenly that position group goes from stable to question mark overnight. Veach called the conversations with Kelce's camp positive. Andy Reid said he stays in regular contact with him, but they also admitted they need some kind of timeline. This isn't your typical free agency negotiation. This is a legend deciding whether he's done. And let's be honest, if Kelce walks away, it's not just about replacing production, it's about replacing presence. He's the emotional engine, the third down security blanket, the guy Mahomes trusts when everything breaks down. If he comes back, the window feels wide open again. If he retires, the Chiefs enter a new era, and right now, Kansas City is just waiting. As a fan, this feels like a turning point off season. Locking up McDuffie is about the future, ignoring the Tyreek nostalgia might be about discipline and Kelce's choice. That's about identity. So I gotta ask you, which move matters most for 2026? Drop your take below and subscribe so we ride this out together.